Flash review. Flash review. Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to Flash Review, the best series on YouTube. The theme of this week's episode is ripoff games. Games that rip off something. Could be other games, could be anything, but they're games, and I'm gonna review them. Let's get into the first game. Tetris Cube is a game of... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna let you guess. What do you think Tetris Cube rips off? Super Mario Brothers? No. What do you think? Maybe Sonic. Oh, I know. It's so obvious. Pong. What an idiot. Okay, but all sarcasticness aside, let's get into... The music is actually pretty good. So it's pretty fine, to be honest. I was gonna hope that it had bad music so I could give it a worse score, but sadly, no. That's pretty much all I have to say about the music. Here's a listen. Anyways, the music gets a 2 out of 2. Now, let's get into... Graphically, this game looks fine. The whole gimmick of it is, it's Tetris, but it's 3D. Not really, though. It's 2D, 3D. So it doesn't really count. It's not that impressive, guys. You should stop trying to make games that are 2D, 3D. It never works. Either it's an entirely different game, or you're just reskinning an old game. One difference in the graphics is that in the old Tetris game, it would show you where your piece would land, right, while you're holding it. Kind of looks like this on the screen right now, right? But in this game, it doesn't. It's not that much of a problem, though, considering Tetris isn't, like, the hardest game ever made, obviously. And that's all I have to say about this, the graphics. The graphics get a 2 out of 4. Now, let's get into... The gameplay is exactly the same as Tetris, except it's just worse. That's pretty much all I have to say. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I need to get this video to 10 minutes. Oh, yuck. And plus, since it's a ripoff, I am gonna give it I'm gonna subtract some points because it's a ripoff game. But yeah, it's hard to explain, and unless you saw what my fingers were doing while I was playing the game, you wouldn't really be able to tell too much. But sometimes when you do a movement, it like has a little freeze or something. Like it has like import lag and stuff, and like it's just a mess basically. It's just a mess, personally, is what I think about this. So the gameplay gets a sad 1 out of 4. And the final score gets a 4. No. Next game. I hope it isn't lame. Game 2. Hope it doesn't smell like poo. I don't even want to say the name of this game because I don't want anyone to play it. Please, if you find this game, do not play it, because I do not want the people that made this game to be supported. I'm just gonna call it Pong, alright? That's all I'm calling it, is Pong, from now on. Now, let's go on to the Pong's Museum. Let's get into the... At first, I thought it had no music, so I was gonna give the music a 0 out of 2, but then I realized there are slight sound effects. And stuff, so that's pretty much all I have to say. So the music gets a 1 out of 2, by the way. Anyways, let's get into hopefully something that you'll enjoy more in this review. It's basically just upgraded Pong, but it's not even that upgraded. Basically, Pong's a 4-bit game. This is like an 8-bit game. But that's not saying much, considering this game was made way more than 20 years after 16-bit games were possible. And, you know, nowadays we can have 5,000-bit games. So basically, the graphics aren't anything to love. And because it's a ripoff game, it gets a -1. So I'm going to give the graphics a 1. Because, yeah, it's kind of sucky. Anyways, let's get into the gameplay. Is as good as Pong's gameplay. It's not that good. Pong was the first game ever made, pretty much. The first game ever made that people actually played, at least, right? And back then, people were like, "What? What is this witchcraft? How do you do that?" Right? But nowadays, Pong obviously isn't a good game. No one's saying, "Oh no, it's a classic." Literally everyone agrees it's not good at this point. But basically, this game is somehow worse than a game made in 1972. If that's even possible. You know why it's worse? I'll tell you why. You can't play it with anyone else. Like literally, you're just playing against a computer. That's the entire game. Gets old fast. It's not like a skill. Like, back then, Pong was like a sport, right? It's like, oh, who's better at playing, playing Pong? Haha. It's like, it's like, there's some skill. But when you're just playing against a computer, it's like, who's better at beating a computer? It's like, who the fuck cares? No one cares about beating, no one cares. Please, no one cares. The gameplay gets a 1. Now, let's give the final rating. The final rating for this game is a 3. Boop. Next game. It is game 2 in my review. Badoo. I don't even remember what the game's name was, and I couldn't find it again, so I don't know. It's probably something like paint, fucking penises or something like that. I don't know, okay? I don't know. But, this game is terrible. Let's get into... Here's a listen of the music. There's none to speak of. This game has no music, which is a perfect time for me to speak about my system for music. If a game has bad music, I give it a 1. If a game has no music, I give it 0. Right? That's basically how it works. And if it has good music, I give it a 2. Now, this game has no music at all. Plus, it has a -1 because it's a rip-off game. Rip-off of MS Paint, by the way. Right, so technically, the music gets a -1 out of 2. Now, let's get into Dibby-dibby-doo. The graphics are obviously subjective. If you're good at drawing, then the graphics are good. If you're not good at drawing, they aren't good. But they have this, the pencil tool they use kind of sucks, and you can just see the lines. It looks really bad. If your entire game is just painting, then what's the point of fucking put more effort into the actual painting part of the game, or else your game is literally worth nothing. So yeah, the graphics, because of the whole -1 system, the graphics will get a 1 out of 4. Oh man, this game sucks. Anyways, let's talk about it's just drawing. That's literally all it is. Yeah, I wonder if there's some kind of a different program you could use to draw that might be better than this. That's also free. Yeah, I wonder. Oh, what's the name of it? I don't know. Okay, but all jokes aside, the game play gets a 1. Overall, the game gets a 1 out of 10. No. Next giggity game. Next game. I hope it isn't lame. Game 3. I'm going to This game was literally just called Pac-Man, so I'm gonna call it Man Pack from now on. Okay, guys? So let's get into Man Packs. It's exactly the same as the normal Pac-Man music, except for the fact that it is way lower quality, which is kind of weird considering the fact that Pac-Man was made in like 1982, and that has better quality audio than something that was probably made in like 2015 at least, I'd think. And here's a listen of that audio. Anyways, biggity boo. The music gets a 0 out of 2. Wow. Now, let's get into. As far as the graphics go, it's just Pac-Man, but it's drawn. So it's a cheaper looking version of Pac-Man, essentially. And also, there's a weird hitbox thing where it's like, here, let me show you. Like, should I have died there? I don't know. I think I shouldn't have, but that's just me. You know, you're free to have whatever opinion you want. And normally I would give these graphics a 2 out of 4, but they're going to get a 1 out of 4. Now, let's get into. The gameplay is exactly the same as Pac-Man. Like, I don't get these rip-off games. Like, why would you rip off a game that is this old? It's like, the type of person that's going to be playing a Flash game isn't the type of person that would have played this game in their lifetime, right? It's just so weird to me. It's like, if I wanted to play Pac-Man, I would probably just get the game. Like, it's free by now, so it's like, no one's gonna be like, hey, I'm cheating the system, like going on a shitty Flash website to watch it, you know? It's just weird to me. The gameplay gets a 1 out of 4. Overall, the game gets a 2 out of 10. And that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye, see you later. Dab on the hater. I'm gonna try to make one of these every 2 weeks. So it's gonna be a reaction video, then a Flash review, swapping in between every 2 weeks. I'm gonna try to stockpile them, so eventually I can make them weekly, you know, because that would be pretty nice. So that's the announcement, and bye.